Alright, so let's talk about this drama around Assassin's Creed Shadows. Being someone who has played every single Assassin's Creed game aside from the mini mobile versions, I feel that I am somewhat qualified to say something about this. So this game is coming out in November, and it's already sort of, made shockwaves throughout the community. So like the recent iterations of this game, you can play as a male or female character. And all the drama sort of lies with who they have chosen to be the male character for this upcoming game. I will not be covering the female character in this, but I will talk about the male character because that seems to be where 90% of the drama lies when it comes to this game. So it is 1579 Japan, and the male character's name is Yasuki. Yasuki is an African man whose status as a samurai is somewhat debated. From the information that I tracked down that, seems reliable, like I said, it's kind of debated. But he spent 3 years in Japan, and 15 months of those 3 years he served as a samurai, or at least had the status of a samurai. Historical writings state that he was a little bit over 6 foot, well built, and he started off as a slave who was given to a powerful Japanese leader who collected rare treasures and kind of oddities and unique items. Now I gathered a few videos that kind of depict him and talk about his story. I'll throw those in the description. So Yasuki eventually kind of earned his freedom. He was given to this powerful leader, and he was able to have citizenship. He even commanded a few individuals later on once he started earning trust. And he started off kind of like a royal bodyguard, and this is sort of where the drama stems. So in all the previous games, Assassin's Creed has always kind of matched the race of the character to the respective time period and location. So the choice to not make the main character Japanese sort of, sparked a lot of outcry for like racism, discrimination. So it started like a huge movement against the game. So much so that there is a petition actually to cancel the entire game, and it has 97,000 signatures. So I'm going to go ahead and read the petition on why they want the game to be canceled. Recently, the lack of historical accuracy and cultural respect has been a serious issue regarding the upcoming game Assassin's Creed Shadows by game developer Ubisoft. The game is based on Japanese samurai and ignores the fact that samurai were a high class of warrior class and should have been gokenin, or servants of nobles. In fact, the first European to receive the title of samurai, William Adams, and then that name, I don't want to try to pronounce that, served Tokugawa Ieyasu as a 250 Hoku Hatamoto. In the history, Ubisoft continues to misunderstand the nature and the role of samurai. This is a serious insult to Japanese culture and history, and may also be linked to Asian racism. We call on Ubisoft to immediately cancel the release of Assassin's Creed Shadow and show sincere research and respect for Japanese history and culture. We need your signatures. Sign the petition to let Ubisoft know the importance of cultural respect and historical accuracy. So that might have been a little rough to read, mainly because I had to translate that page over to English, but essentially that's sort of the main complaint about the game, is that it's not historically accurate, it doesn't show cultural respect, and ultimately they want the game completely removed from all existence, and they want them to go back to the drawing board and make something that is, more conscientious about Japan during that time period. So this obviously caught Ubisoft's attention. 97,000 people, that's quite a bit. That is quite a lot of people who are very upset at this game, obviously for good reasons, and Ubisoft released a response, I believe 2 days ago, and here's that. To our esteemed Japanese community, a message from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. So this is page 1 of 4, and it states, "First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all your support for the Assassin's Creed series, which now has its own history, spanning almost 20 years. Over this time, we have explored various settings, time periods, and characters, from assassins during the Third Crusade to Vikings and the 9th century England, and countless more. For many of our team, creating an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has been a long-cherished dream. Since the announcements of Assassin's Creed Shadows, we have received more positive reactions, but also some criticisms, including from your own Japanese players. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intentions and creative decisions. The overall authenticity efforts. We have put significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. However, our intentions have never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. Instead, we aim to spark curiosity and encourage players to explore and learn about historical settings we get inspired by. Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. Our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, historians, researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. Alright, page 3. Despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional material have caused concern within the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch. Based on constructive criticisms we have received, we will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. We also want to clarify that while we have been consulting with many people throughout the development process, there are no way responsible for the decisions that are taken by the creative teams and the interest, gameplay, and entertainment. Consequently, we respectfully request that any criticisms not be directed towards our collaborators, both internal and external. So page 4, the last page, creative liberties and historical inspirations. While we strive for authenticity in everything we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction, inspired by real historical events and figures. From its inception, the series has taken creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. The representation of Yasuki in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a backdrop. While Yasuki is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. We have woven this carefully into our narrative and with our other lead characters. The Japanese shinobi, Neo, who is equally important in the game, our dual protagonist, provides players with a different gameplay style. We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts respectfully. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is very difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadow launches on November 15th, players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we have poured into it. And this is from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. So this statement was written up most likely with the help of some sort of attorney that Ubisoft has under payroll. So let's kind of break this down a little bit. They mentioned a few times that the Assassin's Creed games are not historically accurate, they're works of fiction inspired by historical figures and places. And I mean, that's obviously true. We totally don't think there's people climbing on buildings, going to the rooftops, jumping off them into hay bales. Obviously that probably didn't happen. And, we probably know through history that Da Vinci did not build Assassin's Creed wrist blades, and most likely didn't work with a guy named Ezio. So, we're well aware that a lot of the game is fiction. So what was interesting is they mentioned that the other protagonist, the female one, has a different play style. So that makes me believe that instead of like the I guess, the last few Assassin's Creed where it's either the male or female, and it's the exact same game, only the cutscenes have whichever character you chose, that each person is specified. So obviously you have the female for stealth, and then I'm only assuming that Yasuki is more of like a brute force kind of hack and slash. I mean, I kind of feel like I have to assume it that way because, I mean, the Assassin's Creed games are based on blending in and stealth gameplay, and I kind of find it hard for like a 6'2" African man to navigate Japan while blending in with everyone. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you're telling me you're not gonna spot the one guy that is extremely dark and, you know, towering over everyone. I mean, come on now. How is that gonna be stealthy, at least in the realistic sense of how Assassin's Creed games operate? And I mean, Yasuki, historically, from what I've seen, is that he would draw crowds because, you know, he was big, he's dark. Nobody's ever seen someone like that before. Very unique. And I don't know, I feel like I'm talking about this point too much, but it's kind of interesting and kind of funny if I think about it, because how is that guy gonna blend in? Come on now. Now, there's probably some scenarios, I mean, I'm trying to navigate this statement safely. Some periods where the clock is past 7 o'clock, where having a dark complexion might help. Can I say that one? I mean, maybe. But I mean, it could help in certain areas or time. But yeah, so that statement talking about the different play style, that makes me believe that it's not an either or, it's a you're playing as both. So, I mean, that might be used to kind of ease on the backlash. They can kind of push it that way, like, oh, you know, the game isn't mainly about this person just features in certain areas of the game. So they can kind of probably twist it to, I guess, how they used to present a lot of the historical figures in the past. And I understand how they felt that this was, I guess, the perfect choice, because a lot of the information about this guy's vague. So when it comes to taking creative liberties around a character, they can kind of do whatever they want with this guy. There's no certain areas he has to be in, there's no certain people he has to know, he doesn't have a certain, you know, a group of individuals around him. So they can really take, I guess, broad creative strides. And I mean, that could be seen as like lazy writing, or that could just be seen as more of an optimistic overview of a character. But I mean, we won't really know how they're going to take this until we actually play the game. I mean, all of it's just speculation at this point. But I do want to say one thing. I feel, this might be a little controversial, so I feel that the petition to fully cancel the game isn't right. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of people have worked on the game. Countless hours were put into it. So many individuals' livelihood, you know, relies on the income they make from this game. So I think the petition should have been worded differently. Like, I feel they shouldn't just outright cancel the game. I think the petition should have been to have a third party, non-objective third party, you know, have pins ready, signing NDAs, or even, I believe, the Writers Guild of Japan be presented with the overall script of the game. Like, I feel that having like a non-objective third party just review the game instead of outright just canceling it, I feel like that's the best option. And who knows, they might have already done that. They did say they collaborated with, you know, historians and cultural experts, so they might have done this. They just haven't really stated like direct groups or any affiliated group that reviewed this. But yeah, definitely have some sort of Japanese Writers Union or Writers Guild of Japan. One of those groups, or just a group that this petition, these people can agree on to come in and review stuff. I think that would be the best option. And especially with like today's day and age, a lot of these large companies are walking on eggshells. You know, they want to incorporate so much, I guess, wokeness, and they also want to make sure nobody's offended. So I don't think they would intentionally, I guess, try to offend anyone. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of individuals who work at Ubisoft have Japanese friends, so they should be okay. I mean, they... God damn it. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, especially with today's day and age, they want to incorporate so many things in the game, but they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I don't think any of it was intentional. I just think it was, you know, them getting carried away with kind of a mysterious figure in history that they can just shape however they wanted. And I mean, that's pretty much my 2 cents on it. So as all of you prepare for the 1500s Japanese Django Unchained story, what are your thoughts on the controversy? I'd love to hear them down below. And I'll also link all the information that I've read up on this, you know, various Reddit posts, historical posts, videos that I found on YouTube. So I'll link all of that down below. And if I missed anything or you have more information to add to it, feel free to comment. I'll also put that in the description if it's, you know, I guess, I don't know, related. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching this. I look forward to making some more videos, and yeah, again, thanks for watching.